Good afternoon, St. Francis, and good afternoon, people of God. It is Sunday, the 8th day of January of the year 2023. What is the second Sunday after Christmas in the rest of the world is for the United States finally the solemnity of the Epiphany, the manifestation of Christ to all the nations of the world. Again, we have this movement from the 6th of January to this Sunday that follows it because our good bishops of the United States believed that people would not go to church on a weekday. So how does Holy Thursday work out? Nobody knows, or Good Friday. But because of this insistence, we move Epiphany to a day that is not necessarily Epiphany and celebrated as such. And the second Sunday of Easter, though, is not observed, as it is in the rest of the world. But anyway, a late afternoon reflection, because again, life got busy with masses in the morning and everything else like that. So trying to be faithful again to the whole of the Christmas season and trying to maintain the reflections. So here is the Sunday reflection for Epiphany Sunday, or the morning reflection, now the afternoon reflection for Epiphany Sunday. Remember, this is not, though, the end of Christmas. That will end tomorrow at midnight, the baptism of the Lord, the feast of the baptism of the Lord, which concludes the Christmas season according to the revised calendar of 1969. Now, if you wanted to be really traditional and really faithful to the traditional passage of Christmas, you would continue to celebrate it all through January up till February the 2nd, the presentation of the Lord. So if you want to do so, go ahead. If you want to keep a piece of Christmas up until February the 2nd, even better. So again, for the for the medievals in particular, that was the celebration of Christmas going all the way through January into the beginning of February, which makes sense since January becomes, for the Northern Hemisphere, a very dull month, a very dark and perhaps dreary month still, even though we are gaining more daylight because of the equinox that has happened. It still is a little bit dry, dour and dreary and what have you. And so it would be nice to sort of lighten the month a little bit with a continuation of some aspect of Christmas. On this day, though, in which we celebrate the Epiphany, we are celebrating, again, the controversial fact, the fact that can be very much misinterpreted. It has to be taken with great care that, again, this child who was born in Bethlehem is not just born for Jewish people, is not just born for Christian people, but is born for all people. Again, what that means and how to understand that is, again, something that humanity is still attempting to unravel, to unwrap, to understand, to dig deeper with, to bring to some better appreciation and wonder and glory for. Again, a God who sees in all humanity, regardless of its religious belief, regardless of its political beliefs, regardless of its social economic standing, the need for understanding itself as humanity. And so this God comes to all people, expressing the we, the nature of us. That is the foundation of everything that is humanity, which is why all of our prayers, again, within our celebrations of liturgy as Catholics and also as all Christians, are always in the plural. I, as an ordained, never pray for myself, and then basically I really never pray for anybody else. It is always us praying together. That is the distinction that sort of makes our understanding of ordained ministry or any kind of ministry unique, is that we pray for each other, we pray with each other, and it is out of that prayer with and for each other that we pray to God. And so that we has to encompass more than just ourselves, more than just some religious denomination or religious identity or religious tag, which is basically all that is in many times, to understand the fact that we as a human race, as a human family, have been created by God and have been endowed by God with the ability to care for one another, to walk side by side with one another, to reach our future destiny together, guided by God and guided by God's light. Again, that light that draws the wise men to this child in Bethlehem, because it seems to be that he is in Bethlehem, or at least maybe in Jerusalem, not in Nazareth yet, that this child who is light to the nations, light to the world, not just light to a particular people or to a particular religious denomination, is the light that we seek in all ways, in all days, in all times, in all seasons, but that we cannot produce ourselves and that we will never find on our own. Epiphany celebrates that wonder, that controversial wonder, that wonder that must be taken seriously, that wonder that transforms the face of the earth, that transforms human history, and is a wonder that gives glory not only to God, but to ourselves as a human family. That is what we celebrate on Epiphany, and something that is wonderful to remember in this Christmas season, as we still continue to celebrate it in this one last weekend of Christmas. Do not let that wonder die. Do not let that wonder fizzle out. Do not let that wonder become shrouded by a bushel basket or anything else, that we might contrive of, that we might think of, to basically get back to life as normal. Because again, with the birth of this child, the world has begun to be set onto new courses always. It is up for us, to catch up to it, as Joseph is told to catch up to what God is doing in agreeing to accept Mary as his wife, even though she is found with child. It is a God who's constantly telling us that new wonder awaits us around every corner if we open up our hearts and our minds and our eyes and our ears to what that wonder can be and what that wonder is for us. As Epiphany continues to shine in our lives always, may, however God is manifested in our lives, allow that light through us to shine, to allow other people who may live in darkness and find darkness in their own lives to find some resolution and some hope that brings them to the light also. A continued blessed Christmas, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.